Deputy Clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Blair,
Present.
trustee Gigan,
Present.
trustee Angeles,
Present.
trustee Lusa,
Present.
trustee Page,
Present.
trustee Martinez,
Present.
Mayor Cunningham,
Present.
quorum established.
Thank you all very much for being here this evening. Welcome, everyone, and take a moment of silence. If you would please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which we would ask our audience members here this evening with us, and led by our Executive Director of our Woodridge Public Library to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
are very pleased to have a few special recognition items for us this evening. And we do have a proclamation, which I've asked Trustee Cruiser, please read for us on Small Business Saturday. Trustee Cruiser.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas the Village of Woodridge celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. And whereas small businesses employ 47.5% of the employees in the private sector in the United States. And whereas the majority of consumers across the United States value the contributions that small businesses make in their community. And whereas, according to studies, 96% of consumers are inspired to shop at small independently owned retailers and restaurants on Small Business Saturday. And whereas Small Business Saturday has been known to help the small business stand out during the holiday shopping season, contributing significantly to their holiday sales each year. And whereas on average, for every dollar spent at local small businesses, 67 cents stays in the local community. And whereas the Village of Woodridge proudly supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our community. Now, therefore, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, by virtue of her office, does hereby proclaim that Saturday after Thanksgiving, November 30th, 2024, as Small Business Saturday, the Village of Woodridge, and call upon all citizens to recognize the importance of small businesses in our community and to support the small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year.
Thank you very much, Trustee Cruiser. And we all know the importance of shopping local. So thank you very much for reading that for us. Now we'll move to a motion to accept the recommendations of the Intergovernmental Council for our Community Recognition Program 2024. Each year, the Woodridge Intergovernmental Leadership for the provides to the village board and recognizes a list of individuals and or businesses who are outstanding and have contributed greatly to the Village of Woodridge. This is an honor for us to be able to recognize and celebrate all of their contribution. Categories include Citizen of the Year, Youth Citizen of the Year, advisory boards and commission members, employees of various bodies, including the Village of Woodridge, the Woodridge Public Library, the Park District, also associations, and there are other awards provided. I'm going to ask now, please, for a motion to accept the recommendations of the Intergovernmental Council for our Community Recognition Program for 2024, please. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Trustee Angeles. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Thank you all very much. Our annual community recognition breakfast will be held on Giving Tuesday in Woodridge, which is the first Tuesday of December each year. It is a wonderful event, and it's one of those, hopefully we will continue to grow. It's been part of our legacy for many, many years. Hoping that it's positively contagious It's a great recognition and it's a wonderful way for us to show our gratitude to all those who make Woodridge strong, bright, and just an excellent place to live and do business. So thank you all very much. Thank you to the village board. Now we'll move to comments from the public. I'm going to pause and acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to the meeting that do not relate to tonight's agenda. Administrator Stonich, do we have any, please?
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. We do have one from Ms. Stephanie Green with respect to the village's water and sewer rates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now going to ask if there's any members of our public here this evening who have joined us who wish to make a comment to items that are not related to tonight's agenda. If so, we would invite you to the podium. Seeing no one, will go ahead and move to comments that are related to tonight's agenda. Administrator Stonich, do we have any items that we received prior to our meeting tonight that are related to our agenda items?
Well, Mayor, we have not.
Going to now again invite members of our audience who are here this evening. If you have joined us and you wish to make a comment to our board here on items that do appear on tonight's agenda, we would invite you to the podium. Thank you again for being here. We'll go ahead and move on to our omnibus this evening. I'm going to ask please for a motion to approve items A through E and acceptance of F through I. A motion, please.
So moved.
Trustee Page, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Is there a request for any item to be considered separately this evening? Going to ask if our clerk, excuse me, our administrator, that is, if you would please read the items that appear on our omnibus list.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. Members of the board, good evening. Item A, resolution 2024-78. A resolution approving a final balancing change order number 2 to the 2023 contract between the village of Woodridge and Muscat Painting and Decorating of East Dundee, Illinois for the hydrant sandblasting and painting program. Item B, resolution 2024-79. Resolution approving the purchase of one Falcon asphalt patcher from Falcon Road Maintenance and Equipment under State of Illinois. A bid contract, which is CMS number 23-416, CMS loss 4-P-53036. Item C, resolution 2024-80, a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract award with Northeast DuPage Family and Youth Services, an not to exceed amount of $86,000 for a 12-month term for the Village of Woodridge Social Services Program. Item D, resolution 2024-81, resolution authorizing the Village of Woodridge to enter into an agreement with Village Prosecutor Christine Sharkowitz. Item E, ordinance 2024-51, an ordinance authorizing disposal of personal property owned by the Village of Woodridge. And items F, G, H, and I are prior meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask if our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles. Aye. Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now going to move to the mayor's report. Under presentations of communication and correspondence. So good evening, everyone. Our village comprehensive plan community engagement sessions have been going great, very successful, large turnouts. It's really been very impactful. So thank you very much, Director Clark and your team for an outstanding work. I know we have one more. We have one more session on Monday evening. The sessions go from 5 until 7 p.m. Will again be Monday, the 25th of November. We'll be at our Woodridge Police Department and from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. 2 hours of very impactful dialogue, idea sharing, input. It's so needed, of course, as we move forward in a comprehensive plan, and love the idea of working together to plan the future of our community. We hope that you will consider joining us and help shape Woodridge. For more information, please visit www.woodridgecomplan.com. I want to personally thank everyone who has attended up to this point, and all those who are considering coming and will join us. We appreciate your interest, your support, your sharing your thoughts and your visions, all of it to help our community grow and be vibrant and successful and thriving community that we have enjoyed for decades. So thank you very much. I'm very excited for the process along with the village board. It's an extensive, wonderful program and engagement. And it's much appreciated. It will make a huge difference to our community. So thank you all. And I wanted to share something that, well, let me just start that DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference is an organization that we as the Village of Woodridge have been members for a very long time. We've been a longstanding member and a proud member. And this past Tuesday at the November conference, we were pleased to help surprise our very own village administrator, Al Stonich, with a special recognition from the DuPage Mayors, honoring him with the Intergovernmental Cooperation and Leadership Award, which highlights his outstanding conference dedication, his cooperative nature and leadership and service, which is truly admirable. His contributions are outstanding. And as a community, as a village, as a board, we are all so proud of Al. And we have just great respect for Al as he represents us as a community in all that he does. We're very grateful for his service and all of the accomplishments. So we congratulate Al on this well-deserved recognition, and we thank you, Al. So congratulations. By now, I'm hoping that everyone is as excited as we all are about this Saturday, November 23rd. And I hope you have great anticipation for our Woodridge Winterfest. Everyone is invited to participate and just come and have a really wonderful time in a winter wonderland of fun and just a festive holiday event. Really reminiscent of past years with some wonderful new magical additions. Really, it's fun for everyone. We're very excited about Winterfest, and it starts this Saturday right here at the Village Hall and Kagan Plaza. It will start at 4:30 p.m. and it will go until 9:30 p.m. It is just going to be a wonderful event with a tree lighting, which is a 20-foot tree light outside here that's beautifully decorated. That will be at 5:30 p.m. Santa and Mrs. Claus will arrive in great style, I hear, with a escort of our chief of police. And we're just very excited for all of our citizens and neighbors, for kids and adults, that can come and enjoy meeting Santa and Mrs. Claus. Pictures taken, they can enjoy hot chocolate, they can participate and just see lots of wonderful characters, Elsa, and I could go on and on. I think the whole night will just be an amazing, wonderful event. Very excited for kicking off the season in such a magnificent way. I think there'll be some special surprises along the way too. All of this is just a wonderful way for us to celebrate the magic of this season. And we hope that you'll come and enjoy with us. And I look forward to seeing everyone along with the village board and all of our neighbors and everyone here at the Village of Woodridge. And on behalf of the Village of Woodridge, the Woodridge Public Library, the Park District, the Volunteer Corps, we have members of our special events, all elves. Actually, what I'm going to call them, helping to make this just a really wonderful evening for everyone. And we hope that you will consider joining us as we, again, salute the holidays and have this magical time right here at the Village of Woodridge. We're very excited. There'll be vendors, there'll be music, there'll be treats, food trucks, crafting. There's so much going on. If you want more information, please do visit the Village of Woodridge website. And again, we all hope to see you there. Thank you so much. Administrator Stonich, that is my report. And anyone out to your reports.
Thank you, Mayor. First item A is resolution 2024-82. It's a resolution authorizing the village administrator to enter into a professional services agreement. It's for Lakeside Consultants, which is an independent contractor for our code enforcement services program.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask please for a motion to approve resolution 2024-82. Motion, please. Thank you, trustee Annalise. A second. Thank you, trustee Kagan. Any discussion on this item?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, please.
I do have a question. I see that the contract value is going up by about $45,000 compared to what we paid Karen Byrne. Is that including the going to the additional round of inspections that we are looking to do? Or is that just based on a comparable figure?
It's based on what we're doing.
Okay, so if we double it, that means that the costs will go up even higher than.
Correct.
Increase, okay. And what does that do to the budget with the increase currently without even talking about the increased inspections?
Well, it's gonna be with the rental program. It's gonna be also. Because it kind of pays for itself, the rental program, is that what you mean, if we increase it from 20% to 40%?
Okay, I just
Or,
thinking about how much more is that going to, because we didn't budget for the 140, or were there 164,000, we were 45,000 less, correct? For 2025?
correct,
Okay, so it will be going up though on top of that because unless, depending on our fee structure for the
right,
inspections, okay. Just so I can take that into account when we're talking about what are we gonna charge. Okay, thank you.
While we're maybe at this point, it might be good to maybe have a little bit more clarification for our community and neighbors. Can we explain what's happening with the program? Thank you so much, Director Clark.
Good evening. So currently, yes, we do use a third party for all of our code enforcement services. In addition to that, same contract does our rental registration and inspection program. So with the announcement that the third party will be retiring here at the end of the year, we went out, we tried to see what other third party vendors are out. And so that's where we came up only really with the two other proposals. Essentially, though, as we're looking forward to increase our activity to be more proactive, this year we did do the increase in windshield surveys, and we did it twice. I believe we provided an update in our AM on what that resulted in. So that would still be moving forward with the new contract. Tonight, we will further discuss the rental program in the current program with the multifamily and increasing the amount of inspections from 20% to 40% of the units per building, in addition to expanding the program to incorporate single family. And that's to, again, based on further discussions that we've had, is to be, again, more proactive with our code enforcement efforts, but also to look at multifamily and single family rentals equally, as they, do essentially are renting, and we want to kind of treat those two products equally. So essentially, that's where we're looking to go with the board in developing that program some more. Ultimately, the building commissioner and I do see value in potentially further exploring the opportunity to have code enforcement back in house. We were very fortunate. I've been in several other communities, and I can say you all were very lucky to have the third party that you did. Their knowledge and the service they provided, as you can see, we're not able to get it at that cost again. But having somebody in house sometimes with code enforcement, I see a true value. It is very high touch. And I think sometimes having somebody in house that you build those long-term relationships with, but mostly also we think that eventually that can be someone that you can further train for inspections to fill during vacancies or when someone's out on vacation, as we think about succession planning moving forward.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Any further questions? Thank you very much, Director Clark. Any other questions? Please follow the roll.
Trustee Angeles.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item B is ordinance 2024-52, ordinance amending the village code of the village of Woodridge. Item 3, chapter 5, peddlers and solicitors license fees. This proposed ordinance would increase the current license fee from $60 to $100. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-52.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Krusek, and a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. Any discussion on this item? Our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles. Nay. Motion carries.
Item C, resolution 2024-83, resolution authorizing the execution of First Amendment to the improvement agreement between the village of Woodridge, Farmingdale Development Company, Unit 26A dash. It's the smaller developments, and I believe the developer, Mr. John Gallagher and Henry's here. Welcome, John.
Very much going to ask please for a motion to approve resolution 2024-83.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Blair, and a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? Our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles. Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item D, resolution 2024-84, a resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a certain agreement for new development, construction, inspection services between the village of Woodridge and V3 Companies Ltd. It's related to the Farmingdale Unit 26A smaller subdivision, Gallagher and Henry, final phase. Thank you.
I'd ask please for a motion to approve resolution 2024-84, please.
So moved.
Trustee Krusek, and a second. Second. Trustee Angeles, any discussion on this item? Our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item E, resolution 2024-85, resolution to waive the competitive bidding process and authorize the village administrator to execute an agreement to purchase fuel through Citgo Fleet for 2025.
I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2024-85, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Martinez, and a second.
Yeah.
Thank you, trustee Blair. Any discussion on this item? Deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item F, resolution 2024-86, resolution waiving the bid process and awarding an agreement for janitorial services in municipal facilities of Village Hall and Public Works. This contract award will be to Shinetown Cleaning Services out of Medina, Illinois, in the amount of $3,369.
Could we please have a motion, please, to approve resolution 2024-86? Thank you, trustee Angeles. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? Our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles.
Aye.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item G, resolution 2024-87, resolution waiving the competitive bid process and approving the purchase of one Ford F-250 pickup truck with service body with run to Rapidity Ford of Sherwood, Illinois. This is the amount of $61,873.03.
I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2024-87, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Krusek, and a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Kagan. Any discussion on this item? If our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Angeles. Aye. Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Pagan.
Aye.
Motion carries.
H, resolution 2024-88, resolution approving award of bid 2024-06 is for replacement vehicle purchase. Contract award to Rod Baker Ford out of Plainfield, Illinois, for the purchase of 4 Ford F-250 pickup trucks.
I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2024-88, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Blair, and a second, please. Second. Trustee Angeles, any discussion on this item? If our deputy clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Pagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles. Aye. Motion carries.
Next item I, ordinance 2024-53. It's an ordinance approving a plat of easement at 1432 Oak Bluff Lane in the Oak Bluff Estate subdivision for the establishment of a drainage easement.
Could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-53, please.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page, and a second, please. Second. Thank you, trustee Angeles. Any discussion on this matter? Our deputy clerk could please call the roll.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Blair.
Aye.
Trustee Pagan.
Aye.
Trustee Angeles. Aye. Trustee Krusek.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item J is the determination of the 2024 proposed property tax levy in compliance with the Truth in Taxation Act, the village levy, and Assistant Finance Director Darren Cleary is here to handle the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Thank you for having me this evening. We are going to be presenting the 2024 property tax levy for both the village, special service areas, and the Woodridge Public Library. Library Director Patty Naisbitt's here to present the library's tax levy to the board this evening. We're going to start with the library, and then it'll pass over to me, and we'll finish with the special service areas and the tax levy for the village. So, Director Naisbitt, the floor is all yours.
Thank you.
It's okay. You're good.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for having me to present this. The 2024 tax levy by the Woodridge Public Library was passed by our board in September. The total levy of $4,439,417 is an increase of 3.4%, which is equal to this year's CPI calculation. It's always been our practice to follow that. This is $145,977 more than last year, which would represent an average increase of $8 per household. Our Board of Trustees, as you know, is an elected board. There are 7 Woodridge residents who sit on that board, and they heard this material and passed it at September 18th, 2024. The levy is broken down into 3 separate funds. The general fund, which is all of our operations and salaries, $4,139,417. An IMRF or retirement section, $150,000, and FICA, $150,000. As you know, most of our revenue comes directly from the levy, from taxes. Property taxes account for 95% of our funding. Miscellaneous revenue is 5%. We are fine free. We do not collect any punitive fines from residents. And so some of this revenue is small things like photocopying. If people lose books, we do ask that they pay to replace those. And we also have some interest. The 2025 budget, our total expenditures can be broken out. 60% of our costs go to personnel. It's typical in Illinois libraries. As a matter of fact, it's recommended that 60 to 75% of your budget should go towards personnel. Programs, materials, and commodities account for 13% of the budget. Professional services, which include technology services, is 9% of our budget. Repair and maintenance is at 8%. In other, at 9%, some of that money is carryover where we restore our building and site fund for capital projects. So the total 2025 expenditures or budget would be $4,677,117. Other questions or any other information I can share?
Any questions from any board members, please?
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Naismith, for your presentation. On to the villages portion of the tax levy. The village has 3 special service areas for the 7 bridges, Richfield Place and Timbers Edge. All 3 of these special service areas were created with a limited tax rate and for the sole purpose of stormwater maintenance and improvement in those specific areas. So we'll go through the levy requests. Our levy requests are going to be just under the tax cap of 5%. So from prior year, so each levy I'm going to present is going to be under that 5%. The levy request for the 7 bridges special service area number 1 is going to be $46,060. This is a $60 tax for a home value of $600,000. Special service area number 3, Richfield Place. Levy request is $8,030. This is $267 of property tax for a $500,000 home. And lastly, our special service area number 5, which is Timbers Edge. This levy request is $9,540 and would be a $50 tax for a home with a market value of $500,000. Are there any questions before we move on to the village levy portion on special service areas from the board this evening? So what was going to be already presented to you is now going to be going into more detail as we end the board meeting, go into our study session continue. So we will dive more into this for discussion purposes. Obviously, if you have questions, please throw them my way, but we are going to go into more of this later this evening. But in presenting determination, we have 3 scenarios that we're going to present to the board. All 3 are with the same EAV assumption. We assume a 4.5% growth in our EAV in the village. We also, on top of that, add in our prior year new construction number, since that is a known construction number from 2023, which is just over $15 million. That's where you see the 5.52% increase in EAV at the top there. So the 3 scenarios are the 3.4% CPI increase, new growth only, capturing new growth only. This is village has done this for several years before in terms of only capturing that 15 million of new properties coming out of our tax rolls. And then the methodology from our prior year and the scenario we're presenting this evening is going to be following the same principle as last year, where we kept the tax rate the same as last year and had the levy change accordingly. So as we kind of walk down the pension first, scenario number 1, the levy for the police pension for scenario number 1 is $3,585,912. Again, this is the CPI increase of 3.4%. That's an increase of about $118,000. Our total tax village rate would be 0.2261. This would mean about a $75.38 tax bill for every $100,000 market value of your home, which is a $1.56 decrease from prior years. For new growth only, this would be a levy of $3,503,374. This is a 1% increase in levy change with about a little over $35,000 increase. Our tax rate would be 0.2209. And that tax bill would look like $73.64 per $100,000 of market value. And that would be a $3.29 decrease from prior year. Lastly, and the scenario we're going to be presenting a little bit more here in a couple slides is tax levy of $3,659,920. That is an increase of $191,920. That is going to be a 5.5% increase, and we'll talk about that in a second. The total tax rate again is going to be the same as last year, 0.2308. And that will mean a $76.93 property tax for every $100,000 of your market value of your home, which is $0 increase, decrease from last year. Now, the 5.5%, I'm calling this out specifically just because the tax cap is 5%. So that is going to be an option we're going to discuss later. It's going to be a difference of about $18,000 in the tax levy. So instead of 100, if you want to do a 5% increase, instead of a 5.5% increase, instead of $191,000 increase, it would be like roughly 173, 174-ish. And we can do a 5.5% increase. That is completely on the table. However, there are a couple things that state statute dictates that we do. So right now, in the spirit of transparency, we do put a notice out in publication when we have our public comment on December 19th. We do that already, again, in the spirit of transparency. We would have to change that slightly just to make it a public hearing, because we are required statutorily to have a public hearing if you do propose a tax rate, a tax levy increase of greater than 5%. So we would have to do that. That hearing would be conducted typically, it can be separate, but typically it can be done at the December 19th meeting. And again, we will talk about this a little bit further in discussion and what that means. We have not, at least in my time here, done anything over 5%. So slightly new territory for me. Director Harrington, I think, does have some experience in this that he might share with you later. Again, going in the 5.5% increase scenario with the same tax rate, what this would mean is, again, $76.93 for 100,000. We just laid this table out in case anyone wants to do math in the back of their head or the back of their hand, and just kind of shows you where you might be at given what your value or residence value of their home might be. Again, this does not include any exemptions such as senior exemptions, veteran, homestead. And again, with that 5.5% at $3,659,920, that is $191,920 increase, or 5.5%. Again, that does include the new construction amount of $15.3 million on top of our projected 4.5% increase. That the total EAV that we are projecting to be $1,585,754,035. As always, we completely fund. I say completely fund, that's wrong word. We completely put the entire amount of our levy towards police pension funding. With this amount all going towards police pension funding, that would put us at an 89% total funded for the police pension. I believe that is the highest we have had in quite a while. And I think that is a percentage of the actuarially determined contribution. That's the $4.128 million number you see there. That is actuarially determined what a recommended contribution should be to the police pension fund. And the 3.6 million would be 89% of that. On the right, you can see what our allocation of resources are for the general fund, all the different revenue base we have, and that property taxes is 14%, as you can see in the blue piece in the top right corner. Here's just a general overview of what a typical homeowner's tax bill would look like in terms of by taxing district. As you can see, the village and the library are having right around 3% each of what the tax bill would look like to an average resident. Every year we abate 100% of our debt service. So we have in 2025, we are going to be paying upwards of $2.4 million in debt service, principal and interest for our outstanding GO bonds. When you issue a GO bond, that paperwork goes directly to the county, and they will by year put the amount as laid out on that paperwork from issuance. They will put it on your tax rolls, and they're going to put on everyone's tax rolls until you tell them not to. So telling them not to is what we call an abatement, and that is essentially what we do every year, because we are not adding this to levy to our residents. At least that has not been the direction in the past. That is currently what we're going to operate under until we get, if and when we get different direction from the board. Again, next steps would be, we have our approval of our budget coming up at our first December meeting, which would need to happen before we could pass our tax levy on December 19th. Again, if anything over 5% increase, we would have to do a public hearing most likely at that meeting. Again, we'll discuss this in more detail later, or perhaps now, whatever the board's discretion might be. And that evening we'll also cover, we'd also pass all the levies and the ordinances and the abatements. Does anybody have any questions so far? on the village levy, special service areas, or even the library at this time.
So this is information right now for us. And we have a study session to discuss these. So thank you very much for.
So the following items K, L, M, and N are all related to Mr. Clary's presentation, so we can move on to item O, which is the 2024 third quarter financial report.
Good evening, Mayor and Board, and everyone else here tonight. This is my first third quarter presentation, but I'm going to try and keep it as quick and simple as possible. It's the third quarter one. The first one. So this is the third quarter of 2024. It's from January through September of 2024. And today is November 21st. First, we're going to start with the general fund. If you have any additional questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them. There are detailed reports for everybody, and they are also they were sent out previously. So for the third quarter, general fund revenues are at about 21 million. This is 938,000 higher than budget and 1.1 million higher than 2023. This is mainly due to income tax, sales tax, and water fund meter loan repayment, as well as intergovernmental revenues, which include Seven Bridges management fees and IRMA reimbursements. It also includes a true up from the income tax, and online sales tax is performing quite well, as well as sales tax. The 0.5% increase in home rule sales tax is expected to be shown in the fourth quarter reports. We can confirm that we are seeing that revenue. So we'll report on that later. And for general fund expenditures, the total is 18.5 million, which is 975,000 favorable to the budget and 115,000 higher than 2023. The expenditures are due, the lower expenditures than budget are due to police officer vacancies, as well as some sales tax rebates that are slightly lower than expected, and lower maintenance and repair services, as well as grants that were not used in 2024. Compared to 2023, expenditures are 115,000 higher, and that is related to IT cloud backup, copier maintenance, and the timing of certain repairs, and as well as an increase in certain uninsured losses that were higher. Next, we move on to the water and sewer funds. In the interest of time, I have combined the water sewer and water sewer capital funds. So for total revenues, we have 9.3 million. This is 316,000 higher than budget. And that's due to increases in water sales, capital improvement fee, and interest income. Compared to 2023, revenues are 316,000 lower, And this is due to the establishment of the Water Sewer Capital Fund, as well as completion of the $1 million general fund transfer to the Water Sewer Fund for the water main replacements. Expenditures are a total of 9.4 million. That is 2.6 million lower than budget, primarily related to the timing of projects. And compared to 2023, total expenses are 574,000 lower, mostly related to the Mending Wall lift station rehab project, which was completed in 2023. Now we move on to other funds. This is just a brief overview of motor fuel tax, drug enforcement funds, charitable contributions, and all the smaller funds. And if you have any specific questions on any of these, I'll be happy to dive into those further. We skipped, oh, sorry, one of them moved. Capital Projects Fund. We have revenues totaling 3.9 million, which is 372,000 higher than the budget and 37,000 lower than 2023. Compared to the budget, reimbursements for the Park District were higher due to the timing of bond payments and also some of the amounts. And the village also received the salt storage and stream bank grants in the amounts of 130,000 and 150,000. And for expenditures, we have 3.4 million. This is lower than budget and 2023. And that's due to the timing of projects and completion of phase 1 of the PD and Public Works facility. And lastly, we move into cash and investments. We have an investment rate of return of 4.66%. Cash and investments total 48.5 million. And the village is fortunate to have diversified investments. So we have done pretty well in that respect. Any questions?
Very much for your presentation. Do we have any questions at this time? Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much.
With my report this evening.
With no further business to discuss this evening, we do have a need to reconvene our So we do have a need to reconvene our earlier study session immediately following our adjournment. We'll give it just a few minutes, actually. The purpose of the study session is to continue the board's review of the proposed expansion of the village's residential rental licensing program. Going to ask for a motion, please, to adjourn the regular meeting of the village board. If I could please have a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Kruzek. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. Actually, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The time is 7 p.m. and we are adjourned. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.